What's up, everybody? My name is Parker Beedier. I'm a full-time online arbitrage seller, former D1 athlete, and I made this channel to help you guys sell on Amazon. Hope you enjoy. So SellerAmp is used with Amazon in online arbitrage, and basically what you're going to do is try to find a product that is cheap on another website. For example, Kohl's. We have the shoe for $45. It's a size 7.5, and we want to flip this on Amazon. So what we're going to do is need to know, one, how fast this item moves, how much profit we're going to make, and many other things with Amazon's fees and stuff like that. We also need to know whether we're eligible, what alerts we might want to look at, the ASIN of the product, and I'll break all of this down. So we'll start from the very top. Essentially, you have the type of shoe here, what brand it's from, what category it is within Amazon, and then how many reviews the listing actually has. So you're going to have the ASIN here, which is essentially Amazon's way of identifying the color and size of your product, so they know exactly what product it is. So when you go to list a product, you will have to use this little skew of numbers to list the product in your inventory. Then you will have the UPC. This is essentially that code that comes on a product on the tag. And if you scan this in store, this product will come up based off this UPC code. So there's a lot of different features here. You have the dimensions and the weight, which in my opinion has been very accurate. So you have the in pounds and then the width, height, and length. And then you're going to be able to pull up an Amazon product page. So you're going to be able to pull up the Amazon listing straight from SellerAmp if you don't already have it. And then you're also going to be able to pull up a Google search of the item as well. So you're going to be able to look everywhere else that it might be cheap if you haven't found the cheapest price. Next, you have whether you're eligible. So Amazon has a gating system where you're only able to sell certain brands once you're approved. In this case, we are approved to sell Adidas. And how you're going to do that is you're going to go through an ungate process where you have to submit 10 items to Amazon that you bought from Adidas, all the same items, and an item that is on Amazon, and you'll list it under the ASIN, and then they will approve you to sell those items. So once you have that ungating process done, then you're eligible to sell. In the alerts tab here, you're going to have some random alerts that sometimes pop up. Essentially, what this is saying is Amazon has been on this listing themselves, but they are sharing the buy box. And the buy box is essentially this box right here that has the customer buy now button and what store is on here. So you want to be the store that's on the buy box. Next, you're going to have variations. And what this means is this listing has several types of shoe colors and sizes. So a size 8 is a different variation than a 7.5. So it's just letting you know that there's a lot of variation. So Amazon gives a rank to every item and listing on Amazon. So this rank or this listing as a whole has a 6K rank, which means it's in the top 1% of all items in this category right here. So something in the shoes and clothing category might move a little bit differently than something in the, beauty category. And that's just good to note. And so basically what people try to shoot for is about 100K rank or less. If you really want to move volume, you want to shoot for under 50K. So lower the rank, the better, and the faster the product moves. So 6K rank is pretty low, top 1%. Then you have the estimated sales of the entire listing here. So this is the estimated sales of every single color here and size. This is not just this shoe alone. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, but this 3,222 is a complete estimate of all of these items. Then you have the max cost, and in your settings, you can go and pretty much put what you want on a return on investment. And for me, my minimum is 25%. So it's saying if I was to pay $47.34, which obviously we are not because we have it for $45, then that would be what my minimum ROI would be. So it pretty much lets you know that this is a good buy. You'll be able to put in your cost price on items right here, and this will change your profit and things like that. So our cost price is 45, and then our sale price is going to change. It can change every minute. It can change 10 minutes if you have a repricer and things like that. But for this time being, the current price to buy this is $76.09 with a $7.95 delivery. and then they have their delivery date as well. So what you're going to be able to do is pretty much estimate where you would sell it at, because the lowest seller is at 84.04. So you'd probably put in that value and just have a range of where you could probably sell it at. Now you're going to have your profit in here. It's going to tell you this is exactly the profit that you're going to bring home after Amazon fees. And then you're going to have your return on your initial investment. And pretty much the staple around Amazon is 30% ROI. Now, if it was a shoe, I would probably try to shoot for a little bit higher just because you have to account for returns. But if it's a low returned item, I would be fine with 30 ROI. As you go further down here, this is just going to tell you the BSR again. You can tell if Amazon's on the listing. You can see what the lowest FBA price is. This is an FBM seller, which means they're shipping this to the customer themselves because it says shipped by them and not shipped by Amazon. You're going to have what the lowest FBM seller price is. You're going to have some Keepa BSR drops. You're going to have net buy box changes. This is how many times the buy box has changed in the last 30 days between sellers. You're going to have estimated sales per month, which is the same thing up here. And then an estimated time to sale, which I typically don't really look at. As we go further down, you're going to have eligibility, same thing up here. If you're able to sell the product, you're going to have if it's a hazmat product. So some beauty products will be hazmat and you need to have that labeled when you ship them. This is not one of those products. You're going to have dangerous good products. This is not one of those products as well. And it'll tell you, and all of this will be alerted up here if your product has it. Adidas is not known for private label. So what private label is if somebody makes their own listing or their own product and they're the only seller selling it, then you are not going to be allowed to sell that product. But in this case, it's a big brand like Adidas. You know that it's not private label. No known IP issues. So what an IP issue can be is if the brand reaches out to Amazon and pretty much says that you're not allowed to sell these products. And Adidas is such a big brand that there hasn't really been any IP issues. And the fact that this is green and there's not an alert up here makes you feel comfortable to sell the product. This is just a standard size item. If you're selling something that's really big or heavy, it would say oversized item. And then this is not a meltable item. What you're going to have here is a small Keepa chart. And most Amazon sellers are going to have Keepa down here, but you're going to have a condensed model of it right here. And I'll make a whole breakdown video of that. But we're just going to glance over. So essentially what the buy box is right here is this purple or pinkish line. And that's pretty much the price when it moves. So you're going to be able to see that the price does move over months and weeks on Amazon. Secondly, you're going to see that this dark orange tint behind these items is Amazon was actually selling this product themselves. So you are then competing with Amazon. But when that orange tint goes away, it means that Amazon is no longer selling the product. So at this point in time, there's no orange tint here. Amazon is no longer on the item, and it's probably a pretty good item for us to get on. Down here, you're going to have the offer count. And these lines right here, these little purple lines going up and down, this is saying how many offers are on there. And offers are essentially other sellers on the listing. So you're going to have multiple stores or offers, and you're going to have a chart of how often they, sell out or sell on and how many sellers there are at the time. So you can go to the year chart, month chart, and everything's going to change, but it's just great data to have. As you go further, you're going to have a profit calculator. It's pretty much the same thing as up top, but you're going to be able to toggle between FBA and FBM. So FBA is going to be where you ship the product to Amazon, and then they ship it off to the customer themselves, and you will get the Prime label, and they will handle all the customer service. FBM is when you're shipping the product yourself to the customer through like the postal service or UPS. And you're able to toggle that on here. And if it's FBM, you just need to put in your shipping costs. So for a shoe, I would say estimate about $7. So what you can see is you make more FBM to the customer. So sometimes sending the item yourself is actually more profitable and can get you, sales quicker rather than waiting for it to check in at Amazon. So you're able to toggle that back and forth. I typically have mine set to FBA. Then what you're going to have is your profit again, your ROI, and your maximum cost. This was up in the top already. And then you're going to have a total fee breakdown here. So it's going to tell you an estimate of exactly what Amazon's going to take from your item, which is really good data to have. Then you're going to have your profit margin. that's the percentage you're going to take home after all the money you spent on these items. I typically try to range from about 15 to 20% for my profit margin. You're going to have your break-even sale price. So say this price went down a lot, you'll pretty much know that this price is where you could break even. We're up at 84, so I feel pretty good about that. And then you can put in a quantity of how many, and you can see, the profit and things like that. Another really good feature of SellerAmp is you're able to make Google Sheets straight off these items. So let's say you wanted to export this to an Excel sheet, but you didn't want to sit there and type in all the data and you wanted to save it for another time. What you're going to do is just click old buy sheet or out of stock or prep center sheet and make a sheet for all these. And how this works is you go to selleramp.com and you're going to have sheets that you can make. So essentially you just go to setup up here and then you can edit, make a new sheet, and you can name this buy sheet, anything you want to do with that. And then you're going to have all these things to choose from in here that are going to show up on an Excel sheet in order. So you can have, the export date, an image, the product name, the ASIN, the Amazon URL, cost price, sale price, profit. And all of this is one click of a button. So it's really nice to have that all in one place. And you'll just literally click here and it will send it over to a buy sheet. So that's really nice to have that feature as well. I use those sheets a lot. And then you can make notes on the product too. So like say there was something you wanted to remember when you saw this product again, you just type in a little note right here and it will save it every time you bring up this product. It could be months down the line, you forget something, but having that note in there can help you a lot. We'll go into the sellers here. So these are the people and storefronts that are actually selling this item. As you can see, they are FBA sellers. So they are selling the product themselves to the customer and shipping it to the customer. You can see what your profit would be if you moved it up to 99 and what your return on investment would be. Same thing at $103. So you're able to know exactly where everyone else is priced and kind of like what profit you would make if you changed up to their price. It's just really good data to have. And you're also going to use Keepa within that. So for here, you'll have the prep fee. If you have a fee that you send to a prep center and they pack it for you, mine personally is about $1.30. I'm not including that here just for this video, but I would put it in there at $1.30 and then I would go down and hit save. And then it will have that calculated into your profitability. So you don't have to, add that item and worry about whether it's still profitable. Then you have a miscellaneous fee if there's any other fee that you know of. Me personally, I never have that, but I will put a miscellaneous fee percentage because I put my tax in. If I'm sending the item to myself in Georgia, it's 7% sales tax. I know places in California have up to 10%. I know Pennsylvania has no sales tax on shoes. So this is something that you'll want to look up on your state website and then just plug that value in at the very beginning of using SellerAmp. This is your inbound shipping costs. So what it's going to cost you on an FBA shipment to ship into Amazon, because you have to ship it through them and they're going to charge you a fee to do that. So you want to have that. It's already calculated in. I personally keep mine at 0.60 because I send bigger shipments, but that's pretty much what I've come out to in that value. The next portion we have here is shipment splits. So Amazon came out with some new fees where they charge you to ship your products all around the country to fulfillment centers so they can get the product to the customer very quick. And in my experience, minimal shipment splits has been the cheapest option. So that's what I would select. Peak storage fees is just during October 1st to December 31st. Amazon can potentially charge some extra fees. In this case, we're not in that time because we are only in May. Now I'm going to scroll down here. Essentially what this is your default values. So let's say like most of your items are shoes. You would probably want to have it just generate $7 every time for an FBM cost. So you don't have to keep changing that. Your storage time in here, I probably wouldn't adjust that because we do want to move the products pretty quick. And then if you do a lot of FBA, I'd probably have your local fulfillment set on FBA. If you do a lot of FBM, I would probably toggle that over. So I don't ship in Europe, so nothing there. And then you can have your custom ROI calculation, kind of what you want to set your ROI at. So yeah, that's pretty much a SellerAmp breakdown. It's a great app, and it is just a Google Chrome extension that you'll add onto your laptop.